Alright, welcome to the 9th episode of SmashCenter. This is your source for tournament results, coverage, controversy, and more, brought to you by PGstats and myself, Suar, on behalf of Panda Global. Really happy to be here. This is the 9th episode. We do apologize for the gap week last week, of course, with Ultimate Summit happening. We're totally going to be talking about that in today's episode. But if this is your first time on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button, go ahead and subscribe, get those updates. In the comment section, tell us what you think. Every piece of feedback has been tremendous in helping us make this show the best that it can be. Every week, we go ahead and cover the hottest news in Smash Ultimate, and sometimes when it's mailing, it bleeds over. But for this episode and for today's coverage, we're going to be looking at the weekend of March 15th through 17th. We had a lot happen all over the United States, so let's get right into it, starting with Collision 2019. This event was, of course, the biggest event so far that Tri-State has seen in terms of talent, high-octane competition, and also just, you know, in general entrance. Really good for the tournament's organizer called RJ. He's one of Tri-State's pride and joy, and he did just that with 391 entrants. We had Mars win the entire thing over NRG Nairo with ZSS, which is kind of ironic, considering the fact that Nairo kind of was the king. If not, no, he definitely was the king of ZSS back in Smash 4. We had Choco and Mars trailing behind, but Nairo was definitely the best ZSS at the time, and lost to this character now in a new iteration, since he's juggling Palutena and, like we saw, Ganon. Nairo had a crazy ride to top 8. From losers, he had to beat Sinji, Tweak, Light, and Frozen, which we're going to talk about in a second. He got the reset on Mars before losing. And we're going to talk about Frozen for a second here, because Frozen actually got 2 wins, one on Light and on Tweak, which are tremendous in this day and age in Ultimate. And he got 3rd place, which is incredible considering Frozen was a little bit under the radar in the previous Smash title. Nairo, though, he was down 2-0 against Light in loser semis, and reversed 3-0'd Light with Ganon, which was ridiculous to say the least, considering that Ganon has hardly any tournament results in Ultimate, let alone against a player like Light, and let alone taking a set and reverse 3-0ing someone on stream. Nairo did that and won the crowd over if he hadn't already, and he secured that dub. Tweak seemed to be having more fun and tried to go Ridley more often than one would imagine. He was showing what the character can do. Trella down in Texas has been showing a little bit of the potential that Ridley has, but Tweak seemed to be a little bit looser and enjoying himself, opting to go also Young Link when the sets got a little bit tighter. Sinji made top 8 of his first major. Let's go Pac-Man, 7th place for the Pac-Mains. That's awesome. Newly signed Liquid to Buzz. Has his first tournament since Summit. Made top 8 winners side, and then fell to Mars and Light, finishing in 5th place. Congrats to Buzz. Cosmos also made top 8. Panda Global's own, after getting sent to losers by Frozen incredibly early in top 64. After that upset, he fought his way through Fwed, Daybreak, Pelka, and Raptor. Very strong players, and then lost to Light for 7th place, so he still got top 8, but probably short of his goal of 1st. Yoshi made an impressive showing as well, with Long Island's Suarez and Raptor both finishing 9th place with the Dinosaur, clutching some nice wins. And then there was also the coaching dilemma we're going to talk about later during the open mic with Coney. And yeah, that's about it for Collision. Sponsor Mars, please, because this kid is insane. He is racking up those wins and standing as the best Zero Suit main in Ultimate. And at the current time, that's not an easy thing to do, considering all the characters that we've been seeing at top level play kind of shutting her down. But, you know, with Collision now in the books, we look forward to what Tri-State can bring us as the season continues. But let's turn over to the Midwest with Second City Smash 2. Now, this event brought on by an impressive community that is the Midwest. Chicago's own Yoshi hit point tournament. Seth had the run of his life, beating Yeti, very strong Mega Man and Snake main, to win the tournament. Fun fact, Seth is being flown out to PAX East next weekend to compete in the Nintendo Invitational. That being not only a huge honor, but also an amazing opportunity, so congrats to Seth. PAX East will be an incredible event to watch. Yeti beat our Ned in an excellent Game 5 in Losers Final. Definitely one to go back and check out. Ned being a Pokemon trainer past Cloud main in Smash 4, so the transition definitely interesting to see. Yeti was actually upset early in bracket by Chicago's Rob player Hydra in Game 3. Hydra finished 9th for that, so congrats to him. And Unrivaled's tournament's own Super Dan Chicago's top Mario as well had some really close sets and finished 4th, which is, again, impressive for Mario. Second City Smash 3 is in the works and plans to be bigger very soon after Smash and Splash, so make sure you check that out. These tournaments, they put their all in it, and the people that run it are always trying to improve them, so I'm excited personally to see how Second City Smash 3 turns out after seeing Second City Smash 2 and how it went. But yeah, really good weekend overall. Lastly, we wanted to cover one more event, and that's going to be Final Round 2019, a very, very popular destination for all of FGC. Final Round 2019 kind of parallel to what we see with Genesis for the Smash community, as it is often the first stop for much of Capcom Pro Tour's events, like Street Fighter. But not talking about Street Fighter, talking about Smash. Anti, of course, made an appearance at Final Round 19. He got 2nd place, so he got the silver. At Final Round, we saw Anti make that appearance with various characters. He didn't drop a set until Grand Finals, which came to the disappointment of some, since they really wanted to see Anti break out. But he lost to Salt One. He got 2nd to him, the resident Georgia Cloud main, which, again, very interesting to see Cloud now at these stages in the game, considering how much he has fallen off, arguably, from Smash 4. Anti has always been a player known for playing those variety of characters, and at the high level that he does is always impressive to see. This time he rocked a combination of Lucario, Mario, and Wolf. So, Fatality, also another Florida resident, got 3rd place, losing to Salt One in Losers. He used Falcon and started to use Link a bit more, which is also nice to see because we're starting to see a shift from Link to Young Link and many other people trying out characters that they hadn't before in the previous Smash games. So congrats to Salt One for taking that victory. That's going to be a very solid W in these this C-tier filled weekend. I can talk English. But last tournament that we had, of course, the past weekend was Ultimate Summit. This event was very, very, very incredible to see, only because we had so much of the top talent in Smash Ultimate currently there, or there at the time. We were, of course, missing Tweak, so that was, to the dismay of some, a huge disappointment. But for the people that were there, MKLeo took that clean, and he did it without dropping a set. We saw many of the Melee players like Leffen and Armada trade very impressive and important sets, Armada even beating 0, which is a big deal. But Leo clutched it all against DeBuzz. DeBuzz, of course, getting the silver medal, and MKLeo getting the gold. This came to the surprise of some, but also expected by many others. MKLeo is looking like the #1 pick for this PGR season, securing so many things such as like Genesis and the other events that he's been able to really prove himself as the world's #1 player in Smash Ultimate. We'll see how the rest of the season fares with Gommel, CEO, many other tournaments still on the rise, ready to start with the Summer of Smash. But yeah, that covers the weekend. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got your fill of the tournaments that happened in and around the world. We're going to be seeing much more in the continental US as well as abroad, so stay tuned to that. Imabura, Japan Major, and many other tournaments abroad are also going to be happening, so stay tuned. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring in Coney. Coney, who has been hosting now for a while with us, is going to join us. So, Coney, what's up? How's the whole Nintendo Online Open?
It's fun. Hi everybody, how's it going? We did it this past weekend. It was killer, just same as the other ones. Always a pleasure. Working with Nintendo is just always amazing. And yeah, PAX East finals in a couple weeks. It's gonna be super fun.
Awesome. Yeah. So a lot of things happen. Obviously, with so much going on. I mean, even just like missing a week, you know, we had a gap week there. Just catching up on Summit. Like
Ultimate never sleeps.
I know, yeah. and it never sleeps. Like, what were your basic impressions on that? Because the Ultimate Summit, a lot of people want to know what people thought, but then like we just had like another rush of events, and it's like old news.
Yeah.
You know?
I really liked watching Summit. I think that I think transitioning to the couch style is gonna be a little wonky. Like, I wasn't getting the same couch feel that I did watching Melee stuff, and maybe that's just because Melee's had a bunch of events to practice and they've been in the game for like 10 years. But I definitely felt some weird, like, square peg round hole kind of deal when you got like 2 melee people and then 2 Smash 4 Ultimate people on the couch. And even then, I feel like there's some commentators that are more, I don't want to say supplementary, but when you have certain pairings on the couch, I don't think it really was as what's the word? The potential was lost. I'll just say that. But
the chemistry.
The chemistry wasn't there, and I mean, like, that's not on Summit, because I know that they're, this is, I think, more of an experiment, just because obviously they didn't want to touch a Smash 4 Summit because that was a wise choice, I think. So trying it with Ultimate, they want to see what people they want to bring on. I think it was a success overall. That would be the one thing that I would say that I would take away as sort of a con, but everything else I thought was amazing. Just typical Summit excellence.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. Like, having been there myself, not even plugging, but just honestly being behind the scenes, a lot of new versus old versus new, and I think that for much of the community, they were happy to see those new faces on that platform, but then also the inability to like interact with the older folk. And I mean that more so in like senses of humor.
Yes, yeah.
Lost on all fronts in many cases, all basically resorting to things being OD and the like, as they said, all weekend. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that's like necessarily a bad thing. As a first run, I mean, they're trying so many different things. The whole thing is just gonna be like, what? Like, it's just gonna be all over the place. Organizationally, it was tight, but I just mean like personalities and people. Like, I don't know, that takes so much norming. Like, from what I understood, Melee Summits seem to be like a lot more relaxed, and it's because people are more at home.
Yes.
They know everybody, but like here, I mean, a lot of people just went for the first time. I mean, everyone's only known Leo for at least like 2, maybe 3 years, depending.
I think that's part of it, but if I'm gonna be honest, I think part of it is also,
Zero.
So but I think what's important is that the commentary really sets the tone of the event, and I feel like with Melee, you've got people that have been around the block with each other a long time, know each other super well, know each other's sort of how they function, how they operate, how they tick, and there's a lot more chemistry there. With Ultimate, when you have these commentators and you're kind of picking and choosing and mixing from different groups, that's fine as an experiment, but again, you've got such a mishmash of people, and it's difficult to have a sense of tone for the event when, like, okay, well, now this guy's on and it's a joke fest. Oh, now Leffen's on and he's doing all this banter and it's trash talk. And I know that it's sort of it sort of can shift depending on who's on, and that's the whole point. But it felt super all over the place. And like I said, in terms of an invitational, it's an invitational. It's fine. The players are going to do what they do. I think the only thing that really differentiates it is the talent that you have out there. And I think the talent is all great. I sort of had the same concerns as you did, is like trying to mix and mash everybody together. Good experiment, like we were saying. I think it's very successful. But, definitely some takeaways.
Yeah, talking about the players, though, and I agree with all that you said just there, only be like thinking more closely, like, these pairings work when there's 2 people on a casting setup, but when there's 4 and then 5, I mean, someone can get overrun. I mean, there were sections of time where one person on the couch did not say much for almost 10 minutes.
Right.
It's just so hard to overpower dynamics that are established. But your boy, ZD.
My boy.
What's going on? What's the tea? What's the news?
I mean, he does that.
So for those who don't know, the ZD, critically acclaimed Fox main in MDVA, past Smash 4 Fox main as well. Previously Luigi main in Smash 4. He hasn't touched Luigi at all, right?
No, Ultimate. I mean, like, he got it on random last week at Xanadu. That was it.
He got it on random. That's hilarious.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So ZD is like kind of a big deal in this early Ultimate like sort of phase, because he was like making a lot of noise at Glitch and elsewhere. He got voted in here, and then he kind of went 0-4, which, I mean, did you expect that? Like, how did you get a chance to talk to him? Because, I mean, that's kind of heartbreaking.
No, I haven't talked to him. I can tell you, I did not expect that. I expected all the Melee players to go 0-4, which, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but, they showed up. They did pretty good. I mean, Armada beat 0, but they all got 13th or 9th. So, okay, fine. But ZD I wasn't expecting. I expected him to get at least 1 win. I was a little surprised by that. But it's the same story that ZD's had for a long time, where it's like, dude dominates his region, but doesn't really show up at majors all the time. He's like very hit or miss, very on or off. So that's kind of the issue with him, and it sucks to see that that's still the case even after he's had these really good peaks in Ultimate early on. But I mean, he still hasn't worked it out, I guess, and that's still going to be an issue. So, I mean, 13th with the best players in the world in the house, it's not terrible, but I know he wanted more. So, yeah. Especially after getting voted in that super contentious, that was nuts.
Yeah, the voting was definitely not docile. The only other instance where we had voting was for the Smash 4 bootcamp, so that was a little different. Stakes were different, time was different, rewards were different, everything was just different. But now for it being like the actual summit that people can campaign much more, I guess, like crazily, it was really, really tough to get in. Many people were just like, I'm not going to campaign, you can just vote for me on skill, mistake number 1. But yeah, ZD made it, and then it didn't pop off, unfortunately. Who was your favorite, like, out of the event? Like, out of all the people we were able to see, it was nice to see Luffy play Pokemon Trainer, but I think that's going to be the end of that on that.
Yeah, no more of that. Armada was really fun to watch, because Armada is one of those players that, like, a lot of people kind of, like, they'll pay their respects, but be like, he's not going to pop off. But getting a win on 0 is a big deal. He was really fun to watch. Apart from that, I mean, my favorite player is in the building is usually Light. Light, Mars, Tweak, that group of kids. So, Light's always fun. But Leo winning the whole thing is something I probably wouldn't have bet on, but I guess I'm not too surprised. He's super good, and now he's sort of establishing himself as the front runner for #1 right now in Ultimate. I don't think that's really questionable just yet. Yeah. At least he's not winning everything. That's a plus.
I mean, he's not, which is nice, but it also makes for, like, a tough, I don't know, like, I feel like not many people are making noise about it as much as they could be. Leo certainly isn't. I mean, he's just like, hi, cool, thank you, alright, bye. There's no, like, almost, like, fighting for it, I think it's something that'll probably start burning up as the season gets to a close, when people realize, like, oh wait, I can't just make up my placement anymore at like at this new event. So we'll see as things start to tighten up. But yeah, overall, like, it felt like a good event. You think, like, the flow and everything. I mean, would you obviously like to go to a summit one day?
Oh yeah, obviously. If they would have me, I would love to go to a summit. They seem killer. Great
staff, beautiful staff. Slime. If you're out there, I'll remember our conversation for a long time. I'll just say that.
Yeah, he looks like a fun guy to talk with. But it seemed like a great event. Zero tweeting about it being the best tournament ever. Kind of.
Side note. Let's talk about that. Because why?
Yeah.
Why? Who? And so, do you want to recap that, or should I?
Well, I mean, like, I don't even know if it's worth discussing, but Zero basically said, Summit is the best tournament free because of all this free stuff they get me. And it's like, well, all that free stuff comes at the back of, thousands of community members, and it's not really the best tournament because it's not really a tournament, and people basically saw it as, like, if I was a TO, I'd be a little, tilted, I guess, off that, because, like, oh, really? You're going to say that Summit's better than Genesis, a tournament that has, thousands of people at it every single year just because they gave you, some granola bars? Okay, thanks, Zero. That's fine. I don't know. It seemed, I know he's trying to hype up the event and make it a big deal, but all it read like to me and to a lot of other people was Summit's the best because I'm catered to. It's like,
So, I would agree. I was initially going to disagree and just be like, hard stop. I think he could enjoy himself at whatever pace he'd like. And
sure,
I do know that it is a community-funded sort of thing. I guess he used tournament and a superlative, and then that's just asking for it when it comes to...
Well, really, it's just word choice. And I'm getting, like if you're getting wrapped around the axle about one word, which I get it, and I understand that it's probably a little irrational, but it wasn't so much that, it was like the follow-up tweets after, too.
And,
because,
I was speaking just first tweet aside. Secondary tweets aside. Like, the initial tweet was like, this is okay, an opinion. He's just having fun. But then after that was like, oh, this is not going well. And then, this is not an experience that's sustainable at events. Like, not even something like Genesis or SmashCon can be like, all right, so here's a basket of Nature Valley. And the masseuse,
for everyone.
And the masseuse is over there. She'll take you after Mango and just put your name on the board. I mean, that's what it is. But, it was a crazy fun event. I died first in Mafia the first night.
Oh, I saw that.
The first actual night. I didn't know how to play. I volunteered to go up, not knowing any of the rules, and then before I knew it, they killed me. So it all started because...
They're heartless. They're ruthless in that
It's because Mango looked at me with Larry from across the circle, and he's like, I want him dead. And I was like, Mango, what? And then Mango just sussing you, like, at all, like, that just... It threw the whole group dynamic. Done. Yeah.
If Mango wants you dead in that situation, you're probably gonna die.
I had no chance. I had literally no chance. Knowing how to play or not, couldn't do anything. So that was just a train wreck. And then I played the second night, and it was a little bit better. But then it was also somehow a train wreck. That's the night that Vanessa killed Zero
for fun
as a Vigi. Yep. And no one understood what it meant, and then I didn't understand what that meant. Like, that was like, I couldn't even comprehend what was happening.
She wanted to have funsies. That's all it was.
I died early. But yeah, Mafia was nice. The events were nice. I mean, overall, I think Summit was the positive, not boost, but it was like it's great that it went well. It's better than it going not well. Everybody was on top of their game. People were really just like fiending to play each other, so I think there was like a good level up there. Layout this time, a lot of people were criticizing. As you see here, this was actually a studio. It was a warehouse converted into different sets.
Right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and that kind of it made production better, but then for people at home, that like being on the couch in a house vibe was gone. Which I don't necessarily... I can see how that's like a bad thing, but also what they're able to do now with all the space is phenomenal. Like, they're able to just do so much more. And they had... I think Slime told me, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I mean, it's a big flex. Like, everything you see there was set up like very, very close to the event. Not like night before, none of that craziness. They were ready, but like they got the space and everything working like relatively like quick, And that's like with just the time that they had. So imagine now the next one after growth, after they figure stuff out. I mean, I'm excited to see what they do.
Well, having their own dedicated space like that is going to be super good for them. Because, I mean, like, they could always get the same house, but having it for the weekends that they want or the weeks that they want can be a challenge. I don't know what their deal is with the studio. Like, maybe they have it all the time. Who knows? But I think we've already seen sort of what they can accomplish with the studio. It's just up to them to like fulfill that potential. I personally kind of miss the house. I like the home, but I definitely think that it's, you gotta make some sacrifices. Yeah, right.
Yeah, the trade-off. So that is that on that. I think the Summit, like, we can beat it all night, into the ground. About how great it was. And I think many now with the second round of like we're gonna vote again, no one's gonna sleep on that.
I think this is a wake up call.
Yeah, and also a lot of like complacency will be gone. So we'll have people like, all right, I'm gonna campaign, and it's like we're now at the onion eating level. Like this is where we are. This is society. and I think
Yeah.
they'll have to do that. But chugging right along to our second topic, happened over the weekend. It'll be a little bit part of open mic. I think open mic will be more of like the abstract of like the concept of it.
Sure.
But talking about Collision 2019. So what did you hear about Collision, even aside from just like that drama, or actually that controversy, because we use big words now?
I watched the whole thing. Collision was super fun to watch. Great event over the weekend. I like that they had so many. I don't know. Having 3 streams is good. I don't know if it's wholly necessary, especially for most events. But being able to see the whole tournament is great. It was really fun to watch. Obviously, a great top 8. Nairo going Ganon. That's all the buzz. Talk about town. The fact that the Ganon kind of mopped Light and then got mopped by Mars, I think, is a good indication of what that character can do and then also not do. I think that's Ganon encapsulated, which I think is kind of interesting.
Ganon.
A few killer runs like Frozen, who has had a lot of success in the past. Not really an Ultimate or Smash 4, but was pretty good, and now he actually has I think 3 wins on top 10, maybe even top 5 players, which is incredible. Arguably, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a killer run, so good stuff to see him succeed. Really like to see that. But yeah, it was a really good event. Kind of a sleeper, super regional that a lot of people weren't expecting to be as big as it was.
Yeah, it kind of breaks my heart that they're repeatedly C tiers all around.
The fact that it was a C tier kind of sucks, because it was way too stacked to be a C tier in terms of like top level.
Yeah, and it doesn't, because like at the end of the day, like if everyone won a C tier, then it's like that's the new high.
Yes,
like
right.
It's hard to explain it without getting too into it. Like all the labels and things can sometimes just be superficial, only because like again, if that's like your new high, then that's that. Not that a C tier is like an S tier in terms of wins, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Those wins will count, and those sets are also really important. I do want to say though that like really proud of RJ and the Tri-State community for showing up. I did see some random blasting Nairo, accusing him of having this be an entire racket for his like whole operation and scheme, when it's like, man, if you met Nairo, if you had the moment to just meet Nairo and have him talk to you about his scene, like he's so passionate about it and very down to earth. Like very down to earth. And he also has done many things, such as give pop bonuses to locals. He's gone to locals to help stream. He's also just gone to locals to go to locals, just literal support. He tweets out House of 3000 all the time. I think Master Hand Gaming as well. And he just helps. Like, he likes to help. He is like the golden top player for a up-and-coming regional streamer. Yes, only because, like, he helps out, you don't get that all the time. Most top players that got it good can pretty much make what you would do in winning a local, like, in a few hours. If, like, it's a holiday or, like, Twitch Prime renewal day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think people that are making this connection aren't seeing the whole picture.
Yeah.
Like, and
do what I want.
But I'm pretty sure that guy has 0 followers and he's just dicking around on Twitter, so I think it was kind of a moot point. That shouldn't... I've noticed this trend of high-level players and top-level players continually, quote, retweeting to dunk on people who don't have a voice. Like, stop. You don't have to do that. You're doing it because it's cathartic. It feels good to you to do it. But to everybody else, everybody's like, why are you... Like, there's no reason to do this.
Yeah, it's like a 50 cal to like a pill bug. It's like...
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's a lot of noise. It gives more attention to what shouldn't have attention. And it's just silly. But that's Smash Twitter in a nutshell. However, the part that a lot of people were obviously upset about was the fact that we have now the actual instance where a crowd member caused a set. This is like almost like a stage hazard, right? The crowd member became a stage hazard. And basically the way the story goes, I mean, do you want to tell it because you saw it? I mean, I'd only read about it and seen it, but like, why don't you take that away?
Well, basically, Mars and Wishes is happening, and Mars apparently has a proclivity to jump off the ledge, and somebody in the crowd noticed it. And, yeah, right. So, and apparently he was on the ledge, somebody yelled, he's gonna jump. And Mars when he died next, and apparently this has been going on the whole set. At this point, it's 2-2. Wishes takes a stock. Mars is on his last stock of the set. And he gets up when he's on the Angel platform, calls over a TO. They have a deliberation. They take like an hour. They fight over whether that is coaching, whether that's not coaching. Is that just crowd influence? What happens if you sabotage somebody willingly? Blah, blah, blah. They decide to play out the match with 2 stocks each, but they say that's not fair. So then they try to artificially create the match, which is 1 stock against 2 stock with 100%. Just whatever. They do something. I don't remember what it was, but Mars won, ended up winning the tournament. Both Wishes and Mars mostly, I think, were okay with it, like in the best way that they could be. But it created this stink because Wishes was like, if I had to replay this, I'm just going to DQ. Why should the crowd be late? And the problem is that you can't even create a precedent for this thing because every situation is going to be different. So now we're going to say, okay, well, if somebody in the crowd cheers, says something that's a habit that's going to go through. Okay, well, what if it's not actually a habit? What if it's something that's maybe a step down? There's no way to 100% foolproof this thing. So it's always a mess.
So, yes, to that. But then the trouble starts when Wishes tweeted that jokingly or half serious, it was deleted, which is then adding to the entire mix.
Yeah, right.
That he said something to the effect of like, so-and-so said Flare Blitz, and I did, and I won the set. I owe him something. I owe him like a drink or a beer or so. He said I owe him like some paraphrase, like I owe him or like that's my coach. Yeah. And then that got deleted. So did Wishes take what the crowd member said, Flare Blitz, and actually apply it to his gain, or
maybe?
Was he
but
about
that's not that's not the same as like he's gonna roll in on the next tech or like he's rolling in on the tech. That's different than pull this Hail Mary across the stage 100% committal move. That's like Ganon. That's like telling a Ganon to go for Warlock Punch. Like, that's not the same. Like, if you're watching Ganon vs. Light, or Nairo vs. Light, and you say, okay, he's gonna roll in, go for Warlock Punch, and then he does it, that's not... I don't think that's the same. I think Wishes was clearly joking, but obviously it left it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. I think it's just an unfortunate situation. I don't really think it's necessarily like... I don't think either of the guys are really to blame, I guess, for it. It's just... it sucks. It sucks, but what can you do?
Yeah, there was also, like, some official ruling. So what's crazy is, like, I was talking to my friend Lance from Louisiana, T.O. He goes by Co-op, and we're talking about, like, how... these rules are like literally made up by us, and so
right,
what is the like protocol, or like when is wrong right, or when is right wrong when it comes to like cheering, and then what we're gonna call like, you know, stalling, and obviously everything else. And there's actually a ruling where you can on the platform call for a TO. And
yeah, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, it's like clause 7, code 5 states, and it's like, what? Like,
yeah,
what, that like someone made that? So here is when that happened. Flambeau and Hangman are they have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
So you can call a TO, and RJ actually ruled officially that they were going to replay the set because of the events that transpired and because of the card, so to speak, that Mars pulled. That allowed him to essentially, like, you know, have the ability to like call the TO over and address the crowd situation. I don't know that he's gonna jump. I don't know. I'm still not convinced. I think that like the Flare Blitz Ganon punch is one side, he's gonna jump is the other. But like, have you ever not said something to the same degree during a tournament set that you've been in the crowd in?
No. I mean, like, that's a common thing.
Like, breathe, relax, stop grabbing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where does that end? I mean, is it
yeah? But the problem is that it's when it happens too much. It's something to say that one time. You know what I mean? You can say it that one time, or like have it happen in the crowd, but if it's happened consistently, and I wasn't there, so I don't know, and I couldn't hear it. But like, if somebody's consistently pointing out habits, or if it's something, I don't know. It's a gray area, which is why it gets so, like you have reasonable doubt on both sides, which is why it's so difficult to make any kind of official ruling. It just sucks.
Yeah, and RJ hit it up pretty nicely and squarely. He been a Twitlonger, the ever-loving Twitlonger website, just reaping the benefits of Smash conflict. Made a ruling that pretty much amounted to them replaying the set on that game, obviously. Because then you're right, like, do they replay when the infraction happened, or do they replay an entire game? But as you see it here, like, RJ said he reviewed the footage, and then he was able to determine that this was like now intentional and also talking about habits. So that kind of changes the tone, because like, he's dead or roll, like, I don't know, those things are just like, that's just crowd banter. It is still a huge point of contention. Anytime something like this happens, I think there's always that clip played of K-Brad getting in the face of, I can't remember who, during a Street Fighter event, like where he gets like in his face and everyone's jeering. Ally Joe is in the back and everybody's like freaking out, and it's like, Smashers can never handle this, or like they play like a loud cheering set, and it's like, I don't think that's the entire point. I still think that many of the players are used to the stage now. Like, read the room, right? You're in a Genesis Top 8 hall, you're at the Paramount Theater, like, scream, right? Even howl for Zachary, right? But if you're in a half section of a ballroom, like, you need to chill, you know? Like, there's a certain amount of, like, courtesy to, like, the people around you, the setup, the players, you know, where like, yell, add to the energy, but don't like take away from it. Like, I don't know, that just sours the experience.
Well, I also want to point out, so some people see that and they're like, okay, well, anybody playing on stage is soft if they're getting distracted by the crowd. And to some extent, I agree with that. I think playing to the crowd is something that you, or playing with or against the crowd is something you have to learn as a competitor.
Yes.
And if you don't like it, get headphones. But I think that's explicitly different than your opponent playing without headphones and waiting on stuff from the crowd. I'm not saying Wishes was doing that, but I'm saying you could do that in theory, of have your friends sit front row. Like, if I had Pink Fresh sitting in the front row, like, he is an amazing coach. He could tell me just stuff that I'm not seeing. He could throw that stuff out there. That's super different than not being able to
It impacts the set in a way that cheering would not.
It's one thing to have that No Round Brown clip and people dancing and just being silly, and it's goofy. It's another thing entirely to just like Doc Lewis through a whole set and be like, all right, he always rolls behind when you tech. He's gonna double jump immediately. Just like habits that people like. Some people recover low every time, and if you just say, hey, he goes low, go low, cover low, like it creates a different situation. I'm not saying that necessarily coaching should be banned, because that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, we'll get that in a second.
Well, that's its own thing. That's different from, you know, like a party atmosphere. That's different.
Yeah, so bottom line, I think the decision that was made, we both can agree, was like the right one. Replaying, Mars pulled the card, and he sought the TO. The TO was called over, and then he took it. I think it was happenstance that Wishes deleted that tweet from earlier where he got that Flare Blitz call out right.
It was a joke, and people took it seriously. It's like, all right, well, let me delete this so nobody yells at me. And then people thought that was an admission of guilt. That's all. Yeah,
which is like, saying nothing is worse than saying anything sometimes, which is like so backwards. But welcome to Twitter. But, you know, moving into the final topic, which I think we've broached now a little bit, coaching. So coaching, popularly in Smash 4, not so popular in Brawl, from what I at least know.
Not really.
Like, the concept of coaching has always existed, but like a coach, like, you know, how Captain Crunch, is it Captain Crunch? Is that Hungrybox's coach's name? It's Crunch.
Right.
It's not silly. Captain. It's Crunch. It's Crunch.
I think it's Crunch, but I think it used to be. I think it's like a PPMD situation, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. So coaching for Melee is the job of only one man right now, I think. and Tafo was Mango's coach for a little bit. Pierce, of course, Zero's coach for a while. And beyond that, I know that there's at least my Florida brethren. Why am I not remembering his name? Oh my god. Tony,
yeah.
You know Tony?
Yep.
Tony the God. Yeah, he's in North Florida. He's a Tampa-based TO, I want to say.
I know Sabrick has sort of tried to make a go at it.
Yeah, Sabrick and 8-Bit Man used to do this really cool thing actually in Florida called tier breakers. This was actually, I love when like community members make such a crazy thought out like plan.
I remember that,
thing, and then it just like goes away because people lose interest naturally.
Right.
But tier breakers was a thing where a top player from the PR would take a non-PR'd player, train them for a crew battle, and then they'd play doubles with them. Pretty cool, awesome thing. Sabrick was a part of that. So was 8-Bit Man. And coaching, again, was kind of like... coaching, it seemed like it was a thing you did or didn't do, but it wasn't official or serialized into, like, the game, where it's like, you're this coach and you're this person's coach, and you gotta, like, delegate coaching. Coaching quickly died in Smash 4, pretty much as soon as it got really hot. People were like, oh, well, I don't have a coach, and then people would be like, I'll be your coach. You had to pre-designate coaches. They had to be with you when the match started. If they weren't, they got DQ'd. A bunch of random red tape, and then now there's no coaches. So for today's open mic, coaching from the crowd came about, but coaching as an official position again, I mean, I would like to see it come back, but also then it's another logistical headache that would seek regulation that does not exist in this.
I mean, I'm gonna keep this very brief. Coaching or not coaching is more, it's way too, it's almost philosophical at that point, because okay, do you want Melee, I mean, do you want Melee to be this game of chess, or do you want it to be boxing? Like, it's one or the other, and it's sports against esports, and I get why people have feelings one way or the other, but that's not, like, that debate will always rage on. But I don't think it's any coincidence that the #1 Melee player for, 2 years now, and like a contender for how many years, has a coach. I think that's very valuable, and I think anybody not doing that is doing a disservice to themselves. But in terms of like what's like mid-set, during the game, after the game, between set, I've seen that before. Well, that's apparently what happened here. Some people would say. So I just... Like, some people say between games, some say after sets, whatever. I think it's a bigger question, and I just talk about the game. So whatever you put in front of me, I'll talk about. Other people make the rules. It's way too, it's too theoretical for me, you know?
So, would you be okay with coaching being allowed post-sets? Like, pre and
I'd be
post-set?
I'd be okay mid-set. I don't care. I don't have an allegiance either way. Like, if you want it to be, like I said, if you want it to be tennis, let it be tennis. If you want it to be boxing, let it be boxing. If you want it to be chess, let it be chess. I don't care, because I'm not a player. I can tell you, as a player, when I was a competitor, when I was in my prime and good at the game, I would have wanted no coaching, because, but part of that is because I played a high tier that was secretly a mid tier, but I played really goofy, and I had holes in my play, but if people didn't know how to deal with me, I could run them over. So I didn't want coaching because I did that. So that's me not being amazing. Like, that's my fault. But I understand that I play day-to-day in Brawl, who is a grappler, and, like, if you play anti-grab, you beat him. So, like, if somebody just said, yo, just run away, I'd be screwed. But sometimes you can just run somebody over with momentum and shake them up, just like Nairo did to Light. Like, if somebody just told Light, like, dude, breathe. When he's at the ledge, back, you get caught by up air. Just back up. Take your hits. Light would have won. Maybe. I don't want to say that. But he might have won. Like, it's a very delicate thing. So I'm not going to make that call. When I was a competitor, I would have been pissed if somebody coached, but I'm not in the arena. I'm not in the arena anymore. I'm not good at the game, so I don't care.
Well, I'm gonna make that call because I got things
You
to
do it
say.
then.
And honestly, I think the second it starts coming back and we get into this whole all right, we got the coach, we got the secondary coach, and we got this guy's designated like alternate like coach. It's quickly gonna turn into this weird like arms race of like, in my opinion, like, oh well, how who's to say that my coach is as good as theirs? Like in pools, are we gonna have the coaches here? Like who's your if you coach two people at the same time, like is that gonna amount into something? I just feel like it's.
Is that a bad thing though?
I don't think it would be, but the way that, you know, mentalities and allegiances align, I think it could get really bad really quick. What if both of your boys make it to top 8 and they face off each other? Who's the coach? Do you assign coaches pre-bracket?
At that point, I guess you're not coaching anybody. I mean,
or
what if PG hires a designated coach and then Cosmos and I don't know, Plup somehow get into grand finals? Like, what happens there? It's just
and the biggest thing too is like the age old, like I think in FGC, and it extends to like Smash wants to be FGC almost as bad as it doesn't. Like I don't know if that made sense, but like there's certain things from the FGC that I think Smash heavily borrows from, and then things it runs away from. Runs away from, and then makes its own. And that's like the idea of like the hard-earned W, and people don't want to be playing a 1-on-2 and be playing against someone else's. So you hit on that earlier where like, you know, is it tennis, is it boxing, is it chess? Am I going to go against a guy with no one behind me, and then the guy says all my habits, and then this person who wasn't going to figure it out on his own, right, during that match, beats me? Like, that's going to just throw the scene into turmoil, in my opinion. I think, like, the best players will have the best coaches, so long as resources allow, but also what does that market look like? Because, again, no one can really just be like, I'm going to be a coach, because many tournaments either have banned it, have no infrastructure to support it, or haven't even looked at it. So it's like, how do you even start? You know?
I mean, we've talked on the show before about opening up more positions and creating that infrastructure in Smash for like analysts, interviewers, stuff like that. If you want to talk about another avenue of talent, coaching is definitely a viable one. No, Zeke has been really helpful for Cosmos and other players, but not really as much in the fray, just sort of on the sides, you know.
And it's not to say that coaching is not valuable, because Zeke obviously brings a lot of value.
Sure.
Packeru has even coached. Like, many people have coached off like non-tournament times. That's different. Like getting a tutor, getting someone to enhance your gameplay, getting someone to be like, hey, you're bad because of XYZ is a lot different from, all right, we're in the ring, all right, this is what you need to do, man. Like that's a lot different. And I think that older players, certain casters, or it can kind of double dip, like coaches can like cast, you know, and then they can bring a great unique perspective. And then older players that retire don't want to play, like, can coach. I mean, that's what happens in football. So it's like, what, you know, the gap isn't that huge to like leap. But again, when it comes to regulation and how it's gonna happen, and then everything else, I mean, I don't know. Even this like crowd situation just got kind of blown out of proportion and just like really messy, and it was polarizing. No one was like everyone agrees RJ handled it diplomatically. But not everyone agreed with the end result, because even in chat right now, people are like, "Oh, well, he got up. That's illegal pause, and this and that. He should lose his stock." So it gets so silly.
I think it was handled in the best way that it could be. I think whenever these issues pop up, TOs can never be ready for it, because everything has its own, like, there's never a specific precedent for what exactly happened. Like, you can sort of say it, but you can always say, well, it wasn't really like that, or it wasn't really like it gets different. So yeah, anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely something that's like maybe later, but I mean, gosh, we're not even there yet to really have that conversation. But yeah, I mean, I think that settles it with Summit, Collision behind us. I mean, we're looking forward towards Pound, Evo, obviously, with what got announced, SmashCon, Smash and Splash. Any events you want to shout out really quickly before we start closing?
PAX East, baby! North America Online Open. Nintendo's going to be wrapping up. We got 12 players, 3 from every region, Northeast, Southwest, Northwest, Southeast. I don't know why I did it in that order. I just made next. But yeah, so we got 4 players from each thing. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. But you can't come to that because it's an invitational, and if you didn't win the tournament, you don't get to be there. So stay mad. Watch it on Twitch. There you go.
My gosh. Well, we do have at least some international things coming up. We do have Umebura Japan Major,
Yep.
The 2nd of May, which will be all sorts of silly. Only because, again, Japan results. I think I saw Ryu in the top 8 recently of a local there.
He won.
There you go.
I saw Ryu won, and I said, it's happening. The apocalypse is coming.
I do not need that right now. Prime Saga, the 14th of April. Very, very nice to see 2GG with its first saga of its kind. They did do Heart of Battle and some other events, but a saga proper, we're going to get that. Like I said, Pound. Let's see here. Gommel, the 19th of May. Momocon, a week after that. Slash and Splash and CEO back to back to back to back to back. Wow, that's a nice summer of Smash actually starting, and it's all in this season. That's hype.
It's loaded, so much stuff.
Yeah, Battle BC3, a B tier, as well as Prime Saga and Pound already B tiers. Wow, I did not know this. I just learned this right now.
It's crazy. Yeah,
they're over 400 entrants, and also Umebura Japan Major, a B tier, getting that nice boost from the international multiplier, since the standards are sort of different for the boys overseas and girls, but yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this 9th episode of SmashCenter. For the 10th one, we should do something special. So I'll just say it now, and we'll see how it works out later. We're gonna open up viewer mail. So DM me, not Coney. DM me if you have a question.
DM him.
If you have a question you need answered live here, I will read it and post it right on the feed. So long as it's appropriate, meaning just be cool, man. Like, such a crazy world right now. Just be cool. But any question you have for me or Coney, any question you want us to tackle about the scene, about Smash Ultimate in general, about anything related to Smash, I mean, it could go on. Like, you can try to ask us about, like, maybe the rock cycle, and we can help. But, like, I don't know what we're going to do if it's not about Smash.
Please do that.
Yeah, but it's been real. Coney, any final signings before we go off?
Nope. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm gonna go eat dinner. See you soon. We talk Monday.
Monday, yes.
We'll be back Monday.
So we're trying to be back on the Monday grind. Tuesdays are, kind of just like after Monday everything falls apart. Tuesday, Coney has Xanadu. Wednesday, I have something or Coney has something. Thursday is too late for a recap. Friday, what are you doing making a recap on a Friday of the past weekend? And then it just goes over. So Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern, Panda Global, at Twitch. Coney is going to say goodbye now. Tell us his socials if he wants.
Check it out, twitch.tv/Coney. I'm probably streaming Apex tonight because I got a sponsored content deal. So if you want to watch Apex being played very poorly, I'll probably do that. And then I'm also playing Devil May Cry right now. So follow me, twitch.tv/Coney. And you guys already know where my Twitter is, so who cares? Thank you for having me. I'll see you next week.
All right, Coney, thanks so much. That was that. We're gonna have the now 10th episode coming up. Like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead and DM me at PG_suar. You're gonna find that I'm pretty approachable, and if your messages get lost in my inbox, then it's probably because we got slammed or I forgot. Either way, give it a shot. We'll be happy to review any questions that you have. So again, DM me. I'll throw it up on the PGstats account so people can stay tuned to that. But if you haven't already, make sure you follow us on @the PGstats for any Twitter updates. This season's going to heat up pretty soon for the PGR, and we'll give you any updates you'd like at that Twitter handle. Myself, suar, you can find me at PG_suar like I told you. My schedule is going to be pretty locked for now. I'll be starting the Summer Smash soon with everybody else, but my vacation days are kind of spent with Summit and Genesis and everything else. But I appreciate you here now at Twitch and YouTube if you're watching this now at the cut stream. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. It's been PGstats, it's been SmashCenter, it's been Coney, it's been suar. I want you to have a nice night. I want you to call someone you haven't called in a long time and tell them you love them. Because, like, I don't know, why not? And appreciate each other. And pick Ganon in Elite Smash so that we can find some nerfs for him, because I don't know what's going on, and honestly people shouldn't be losing to him, but he's a terror and who knows. So I'll see you next time. It's been enough. I love you all. suar, SmashCenter, and we'll see you on next Monday for the 10th episode. See you then.